Christmas Eve, 1945. In the quiet town of Fayetteville, West Virginia, the Sodder family gathered for a night of celebration. The warmth of the fireplace, the twinkling lights on the tree, and the laughter of 10 children filled the home. But by morning, 5 of those children would be gone, vanished without a trace, and even decades later, their fate remains one of the most chilling, unsolved mysteries in American history. George and Jenny Sodder were Italian immigrants who had built a good life in America. George ran a successful trucking business, and together they raised 10 children in a 2-story wooden house on the outskirts of Fayetteville. But despite their quiet life, there was something unusual about the Sodders. Secrets, enemies, and a growing fear that something wasn't right. In the months leading up to Christmas 1945, strange things started happening. A mysterious man appeared at the Sodder home, offering to sell life insurance. When George refused, the man's response was chilling. "Your house will go up in smoke, and your children will be destroyed." George was outspoken against Benito Mussolini, the Italian dictator. Some believed his political views had earned him enemies. But could someone really be planning revenge? December 24th, 1945. It was a night filled with joy and holiday cheer. The Sodder children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, begged their parents to stay up late. Their mother, Jenny, finally agreed, telling them not to forget to turn off the lights and lock the door before bed. Sometime after midnight, a strange phone call woke Jenny from her sleep. A woman's voice, unfamiliar and laughing, asked for a name Jenny didn't recognize. In the background, glasses clinked and people laughed. Before Jenny could respond, the caller hung up. Something felt off. Jenny noticed the lights downstairs were still on, the doors unlocked. Odd, considering the children had promised to take care of it. But the house was quiet, and assuming they had just forgotten, she turned off the lights and went back to bed. At 1:30 a.m., Jenny awoke again, this time to the scent of smoke. Flames were already spreading through the house. George and Jenny rushed to save their children. 4 of them, John, George Jr., Marion, and Sylvia, escaped with their parents. But 5 of the children, Maurice, Martha, Louis, Jenny, and Betty, were trapped upstairs. George tried to get to them, but the staircase was engulfed in flames. Desperate, he ran outside to grab his ladder, but it was missing. He then attempted to start his truck to drive it up to the window for a rescue, but neither of his vehicles would start, despite having worked fine the day before. Frantic, Jenny ran to the neighbor's house to call the fire department, but the operator never answered. A passerby finally managed to contact the fire chief, but help was slow to arrive. By the time firefighters showed up, 7 hours later, the house had already burned to the ground. In the morning, as the ashes cooled, the Sodders searched for the remains of their 5 children, but something was wrong. There were no bones, no traces of human remains at all. Experts said that even in the hottest fires, bones should have survived, yet nothing remained. Even stranger, authorities ruled the fire as faulty wiring. Yet the Sodders noticed that the Christmas lights had stayed on while the fire burned, suggesting the electricity had still been working. The Sodders began to suspect something far more sinister. Witnesses reported seeing a man watching the fire from a passing car. Another woman claimed she saw the missing children in a car driving away that night. A motel owner in South Carolina later claimed that a couple with 5 children checked in, matching their description. Was the fire a cover-up for a kidnapping? Did someone take the Sodder children? In 1967, more than 20 years after the fire, Jenny Sodder received an envelope with no return address. Inside was a photograph of a young man with the words, "Louis Sodder. I love brother Frankie." The man in the photo bore an uncanny resemblance to her missing son Louis, now an adult. The Sodders hired a private investigator, but he vanished, never to be heard from again. The Sodder parents spent the rest of their lives searching for answers. To this day, no remains of the 5 children have ever been found. Were they kidnapped? Did they die in the fire? Or is the truth something even more disturbing? The Sodder case remains one of the most haunting, unsolved mysteries. And somewhere, buried in time, the truth still waits to be uncovered. What do you think happened to the Sodder children? Let me know in the comments below. And if you love real-life mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more unsolved cases.